Hey, John here. In this video, I'm going to step you through one simple feature I added to almost all of my niche sites that increase dwell time by at least 62%. In some cases, the results were far, far better. So what is dwell time? Well, it's the average duration visitors stick around your site, and in my opinion, it's a very, very good metric to improve. Here's an example of one niche site. This was back in February 2020. This was before I implemented this simple feature. And you can see the average session duration was 55 seconds. Fast forward to April 2020 after I input this feature, and average session duration jumped to a minute 29. It's a 62% increase. That's huge. Now, a collateral benefit to this feature that I added is also a significant increase in page views per visitor. So before on the same site, it was 1.24, and after it was 1.61, which is a 30% increase. So I had such good success with one test site with this feature that I decided to deploy it on every website I own. And as you could see, the time on site increases and page view session increase were huge. And it ranges quite a bit, actually, and it ranges quite a bit by niche and by site type and all of that. But you can see in some cases 333%. And, you know, in my view, even a 33% increase in page views per session is significant. I have tried over the years many things to improve these metrics, and nothing has worked even close to what this simple feature on websites will produce. So it had been about a year and a half since I had started doing this, and I just wanted to check again in late 2021 to see whether this feature was still working. So I removed it on one of my smaller sites. And what happened is the average session duration went down to 39 seconds. And when I put it back on, it was 54. So yes, it is still working very, very well. It's a 38% improvement just by having this feature on my sites. So what is it that I did? It's simple, 2 words, infinite scroll. Now, there are 2 types of infinite scroll you need to know about. The one is that it's infinite scroll on archive pages, which would be like your category and tag pages. And a lot of websites have that, and that is not what I'm talking about. That is not what I did. You're not going to get these improvement numbers with that. What I'm talking about is putting infinite scroll on your individual posts. So when a reader finishes a particular post on your website, the next one scrolls automatically into view, and they will be able to go through that. And that is what keeps people around a lot longer. And it works a whole heck of a lot better than related post plugins and all that, because I've used those for years and years. When you get the whole post to just scroll right into view, following from what they've already read, that is what's going to get the huge improvements. Now, what's interesting is the improvement amount by niche will vary and by site will vary, and in fact, on business sites like FatStacks, it did not improve it at all. And I can only guess, but my hunch is that, well, FatStacks has always had a really long dwell time. It's had many page views per visitor. And I think visitors that go to a site like a business site and are trying to get information and learn stuff, especially in the business realm, they like the navigation. They don't want the infinite scroll where it's just, mindlessly bringing in like kind of interesting topics that they might want to continue reading. That's sort of what infinite scroll is capitalizing on general niche sites. Instead, FatStacks people want to navigate. So it's not a sure thing on every type of site, right? It's gonna really depend on your niche, but I do encourage you to give it a shot. I really do. Which does bring me to an important point, because I've known about infinite scroll for years, because I visited websites and over the years that had infinite scroll, and I always thought it was interesting. When I would Google it, is infinite scroll good? Lots of bloggers would say it's bad. And it turns out the reason that they say it's bad is because they publish business blogs. They're publishing blogs that talk about how to blog, right? That's a business blog. It's very similar to FatStacks. And it's a totally different beast than your general info or clickbaity or celebrity or whatever types of blogs out there, where people just, they start reading, they keep reading, and infinite scroll can keep them on the site. And business sites are a totally different beast. And so you really need to test it for yourself. And I'm not saying that this is going to get you're going to get the same numbers on all your niche sites, but I have a pretty strong suspicion that for your general niche sites, infinite scroll can improve your dwell time and page views per visitor. So The next question is, did ad revenue increase? And no, it didn't. I did not notice any clear revenue increase from display ads or affiliate links or any of that, okay? So I can't come here and say, well, I got a 300% increase in ad revenue. That would be really sweet if I could say that, but no, that did not happen. And I'm not really sure why it doesn't happen, because the stickies, there's a lot more display duration of various ads, especially the stickies when people are on your site longer. My hunch is that when people navigate through links and menus rather than infinite scroll, what you get is you get an ad refresh every time they click it. But I'm not really sure that is the answer either, because ad networks will also do ad refresh. So I'm not really sure why it didn't increase, but it didn't. So I use infinite scroll for the improved dwell time primarily. The page views per visitors is also an improvement. I don't use it for an increase in revenue. If you get an increase in revenue, then that's great, but don't expect it, at least based on the testing that I've done. All right, now speaking of revenue, particularly ad revenue, sadly not all ad networks can display ads on infinite scroll, okay? I use AdThrive, they can. Ezoic can in a way, okay? Ezoic, the sticky ads will continue to show if people don't close them out as visitors scroll to the next post, but that next post is not going to have in-content ads, okay? So you got to prepare for that. Maybe Ezoic one day is going to make infinite scroll work, I don't know. As for other ad networks, I don't know because I don't use them, okay? So in my view, even if you're with Ezoic and you're not qualified for AdThrive, I think it's worth at least trying, at least, see whether your revenue goes up, down, stays the same, and check out your metrics. It's worth a test. If you have decent traffic, you can get pretty good test results in a few days. All right, so do I still use infinite scroll? Yes, absolutely. I use it on my niche sites. And basically, I don't even really test anymore because I have had so many test results across so many niche sites that for me, it's a no-brainer. It works on pretty much every site except business-oriented sites. So how do I set up infinite scroll on my sites? It's very, very simple. Back when I was testing all this, I tested themes, I tested plugins, I tested everything I could find that offered some sort of infinite scroll for the individual posts, okay? A lot of themes will have infinite scroll for the archive pages, but not for the individual posts. So I had to do some digging around. I tested a bunch, and I found one. Now, back in the day, I found one that was really cool. It worked really well. And then after that, I found an even better one, and that's the one I use, okay? So it's so simple to turn on. It's literally one little click of the mouse. This is it. In the themes customizer, you just go here, turn it on, and boom, it's on. It's so simple. And I'm sure you're wondering, what theme is that? And you can click the affiliate link in the description below to bring you to the theme that I use. This is the theme I use on every site that I have infinite scroll on. I even use this theme on Fat Sacks. I love this theme, and it makes infinite scroll so simple. It's built into the theme. It's fluid. It's seamless. It works really, really well. If you'd like to learn more tips and tricks about improving and getting even better results with infinite scroll, I actually go into this in depth in the Fat Stacks course bundle, so you can check that out. You can just go to fatstacksblog.com there, and it'll give you access to the email newsletter, which will give you access to the course and potentially even some good discounts and deals. So check it all out. And this is just a snippet of one little thing I do, being in the trenches with niche sites. I own a bunch of niche sites. Several earn quite a bit on passive income every month. And this is my main business. And so, I have a general idea, pretty good idea about what I'm talking about. So check out the site, check out the newsletter, and if this sort of business model appeals to you. Thanks for watching.